In order to seize his wife's fortune, the man secretly added colorless and odorless poison into a glass of red wine, then handed it to his wife who had just returned from a business trip. Unaware, his wife drank it down. Seeing this, the man quickly handed her a gift. When she opened it, she found it was a letter of will. The handwriting on the letter was identical to the man's. At this moment, the wife realized something was wrong, but it was too late. As a dizzy feeling overcame her, she lost consciousness. The man calmly carried her to the bathroom, planning to stage it as an accidental drowning. Even after seeing his wife's pregnancy test report, he still chose to act without hesitation, just to take control of the company and swallow all of his wife's assets. He thought everything had been done flawlessly. Little did he know, his wife's twin sister had already returned to the country. As a top-tier assassin, she immediately noticed something was off with her brother-in-law. She saw his expression was sad, but there was no trace of sorrow in his eyes. She suspected her sister's suicide had something to do with this man. To confirm her suspicion, she secretly entered her sister's hospital room and discovered her sister still had a faint pulse. She immediately instructed her subordinates to treat her. Though they temporarily saved her life, it would still be hard for her to wake up anytime soon. The woman realized that if the man knew her sister was still alive, he would definitely try to kill her again. So, she decisively cut her own wrist, intending to disguise herself as her sister and expose the man's true face. Unaware of this, the man was in the hospital room, engaging in intimate actions with the scheming woman. Seeing this, the woman clenched her fists in anger, wanting nothing more than to expose them right there and then. Unexpectedly, the scheming woman noticed this scene. The man immediately covered his wife's nose with his hand, but his wife didn't respond at all. To ensure nothing went wrong, he tightly grabbed his wife's neck. At that moment, the board of directors suddenly called. In order to smoothly inherit control of the company, the man gathered the shareholders to the hospital room, claiming that he was the sole heir, and announcing that he would change the company's name to his own. Although the shareholders found something suspicious, they didn't dare speak up. Just then, a hand suddenly reached out from behind the man and grabbed his arm tightly. The woman sat up from the hospital bed. The man was so startled that he stepped back. Suddenly the woman called him husband. This made the man realize something was wrong. The woman never liked calling him husband. In the 3 years of their marriage, she always addressed him by his name, so the man immediately demanded to know who she was. The woman immediately pretended to have amnesia, saying there were cameras in the room, and if her husband didn't believe her, he could check with the shareholders. But the man, who had just tried to strangle his wife, immediately panicked. He had no choice but to suppress his doubts and stop questioning her. At this point, the woman's assistant urgently spoke up, saying the woman was the CEO. The shareholders also persuaded the man, since the assistant who had worked with the CEO daily recognized her as the CEO. It must be true. The man realized he had no evidence and couldn't expose the woman's true identity, so he pretended that the hospital pillow was too hard and suggested the woman return home to recover and that she should wait for him in the car. The woman, in order to fully understand the man's intentions, obeyed and walked out. But after she left, the man made a phone call and had the home security system unlocked, so when the woman arrived home, the shareholders followed close behind. At this moment, she had no idea the man's carefully designed scheme